Hello. This is Oscar here, Oscar from Great Property Solvers, and today we will be discussing a hot topic. That is how to sell your house to an investor. How to sell your house to an investor, and let's jump right into it. But before we jump there, just wanted to give you a word of encouragement. That is from Psalm 46:1. God is our refuge and strength, a very present help in time of trouble. Okay, so let's get started. So in the past, people used to live their whole life in their house, right? So you will have your parents, I would say, who will live in the house for 40 years, 50 years, um, or their whole lifetime, right? So that's what was happening. But today, people will live in a couple of years and then move to another house. Why? Because of job relocation, or the child needs to move to another school. So a lot of things have changed, and because of that, more and more houses have been built in the recent years, which made the house counts in the market unlimited, right? So today there's an unlimited number of houses, and people keep building and building. All right, so and as a consequence, there are more and more complexities and more rules related to buying and selling homes, and as well as extra requirements. And in the process, you can get frustrated to sell your house because you need to meet a certain threshold, or you need to meet a certain standard to be able to sell your home to someone else. So all that being said, uh, nowadays there has been, from what we have noticed in the real estate investing arena, there's been more and more appetite to sell to real estate investors. But before we talk about anything further, let me explain you what is a real estate investor. A real estate investor is different, is not a real estate agent. A real estate investor is someone who is not licensed to do real estate, right? But they are investors, so they're not they're not licensed, and they don't have to be licensed. That's where I'm getting to. They're not licensed, but they don't have to be licensed because they're investors. Now, real estate agents, they get paid by commission, and they work under a broker, and they are licensed to do so, and they represent their clients, which is a noble job. But when you're a real estate investor, you don't have to be a real estate agent, right? So real estate investors buy house directly from the seller, but real estate agents do not buy house directly. They represent their buyer or their seller. They represent their buyer or their seller. So they have customer, and they get paid through commission to them. Real estate investor deal directly with the seller and directly with their buyer. So that's the major difference, and they don't need to be licensed. Okay, so they buy the house, they do the repair on the house, and then they turn the property that they bought into some rental or sell it for profit. And there's so many strategy exits that are available for real estate investor, and that's who I am. I'm a real estate investor. I am not licensed because I don't need to be licensed to do my job. So if someone tell you, oh, anybody that does real estate needs to be licensed, no, that's not true. Because as when you buy a house, anyway, when you buy a house, you live in it for a couple of years and resell it, you're investing too. I've seen some family doing that. They buy a house for a couple of years or 3 years, and then they sell it at a higher price, and they move to another house. They're investing. They're real estate investors. So no big difference. No difference between what they're doing and what I'm doing, and they're not licensed. So just wanted to stress that out. Now, selling your house to an investor is relatively simple. Okay, so the first step is to provide the investor with the home information. What repair is needed, what is your asking price, okay, and your personal situation, why you want to sell the house. So we want to see how motivated you are to sell the house. If you're not motivated, it may be we may not get a deal together. So you have to be motivated, and the motivation may be, or that you probably falling behind your mortgage, or you inherited the house and that you have, or you need to relocate to another area. So many factors in place. So tell us your situation and let us know what are the repairs needed in the house, and let's build relationships. So it's all about relationship. We're not trying to buy your house and just make money. We try to build relationship with our client. The investor will then inspect the house and come up with a fair value, taking into account the repairs that have been made or that need to be made, and they will make an offer. Now, once the offer works for the both of us, because again, it needs to be a win-to-win situation, we will close on the deal, and you will receive the payment of your cash for your house through a title company. Okay, and the title company is a third-party company that does all the transaction and does all the paperwork requirement for the house to be transferred from the seller to the new buyer. So that's pretty much it. Now, how fast can you sell, and why should you sell your house to a local investor or to any investor? The first one is time frame. Investors usually buy houses within 7 days, and it can be done. In some cases, it could take up to 30 days. Why? Because the investor needs to make his due diligence, right? They need to check the title, they need to check the property tax, they need to investigate the repairs. There's a lot of work to do that need to be done, and they need more time before we close the deal. Now, selling to an investor is a great option. Why? Because most of the time you're in a hurry, you're under pressure, you're under financial pressure. You need to move out the house by a certain time, and to get to your new house, right? And you don't want to get in the headache of having to move from your house, because there's a stress behind moving first that you need to resolve. So you're trying to move, you're trying to take care of moving, and you between two cities or two states. So your mind is right here where you are, and in the other state try to resolve a lot of things, and you want to be relieved from that. Okay, so that's one. And second, you don't want to have to get to repair everything, because that takes time and resources and energy, right? Now, the complication behind the process, you don't want to have to get into paperwork and stuff like that. But most importantly, you don't have to pay any fee when you deal with a real estate investor. We take care of all the closing fee, all the closing costs. There's no commission to pay, and you can live relaxed with the money that you're asking for. Of course, you want to ask for the max, right? You want to max out the money that you invest in the house. But if we can come with a win-to-win situation, we're both happy, and that's what we want. We want you to be happy, and we want to be happy as well. So, finally, what are the hidden costs of waiting to sell the house? Well, there are many people who don't consider the hidden costs of holding onto a property. They want to get the maximum, but at the same time, they have to keep paying with mortgage. They have to keep maintaining the property. If there is any plans that stop working, they have to maintain it. So there is a time period when you have to be able to say, you know what, I'm done. I need to get rid of the house now before it's too late. Because the longer you wait, the more it's going to cost you to sell the property, and the harder it's going to be for you to sell the property. Okay, so you need to consider all this. Now, extra month of mortgage payment, I already talked about that, utilities and maintenance costs, and then you have to think about where you're supposed to live. All this can add a lot. All this can quickly add up. Now, by sending out a discount, you can end up with a larger lump sum, right? You can end up with a larger lump sum, and very quickly. You're saving yourself a lot of headache by selling quickly as well, right? So these are things that you need to think about before you decide to wait to sell your home. So there are pros and cons to wait and not to wait. Okay. Now, why am I pointing this topic out? Because we're here to help. Do you have a house for sale? Do you need to get rid of a house? Are you in an upside down situation where you're behind on your mortgage payment and you need somebody to take over, or you inherited a house and you want to get rid of the house and move forwards? You just don't know what to do with the house because you live in another area, okay? Or it could be anything else, right? We're here to help. we want to pay you cash for the house that you have. We want to get a win-to-win situation, and we want to buy your house as is. You will think that you will need to make repairs and that you will need to spend money and time on repairs, but you may not. Okay, that's why we are called investors. Investors that buy directly from you, and they do the repair themselves, and they take over the house. So if you like this video, please subscribe for more content. We have a lot of content coming in every week, and we would love to take advantage of those free discussion and free information. So feel free to subscribe, and I'll see you next time for our next video. Bye bye.